One, two, three, testing. Hello, hello, welcome to the, yeah, cool. Should be good. Let's see. Testing, one, two, three. One, two, three, hello, testing. Testing, one, two, three, testing. Uh-oh. Interesting.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for what I like to call Thanksgiving in April. I say that because it's English and Classical. Their first meeting of this season, they play twice every year. They might play three times if they play in the Mullins tournament. English is home game. Classical won their first three this year, but then they lost their last game to Malden. English got shut out by Somerville in their first game. They've won their last two. They're looking for three in a row. And English has played all their games, all three games, here at Fraser Field. This is Classical's second home game. And I still get a little nervous saying Greater Boston League Battle because it's so many years I did them in the Northeastern Conference. For Classical will be Mark Walsh, the shortstop, leading off. Damien Munoz, the second baseman, hit second. Batting third and playing center field, Roky Brea. Pitching and batting fourth, Christian Figueroa. The right fielder, Ronald Brea, will hit number 5. Catching and batting sixth, Boo Izaiya. The DH, Jaden Barrigan, Jaden Barrigan's the DH, hitting for Gavin Collins, the first baseman. Hitting seventh and hitting eighth, playing left field, Emerson Lara. And bringing up the tail end of the batting order is the third baseman, Braden Owenesian, batting ninth. Gil McGalva on the mound for English. Throwing to Elian Pena, the catcher. Still a little bit different to see English in the white uniforms, not the red and gray that they wore for so many years. So a big one. This is the second time English has had an intercity battle. They defeated Lynn Tech in their first intercity battle. They're trying to make it 2 in a row. Coach Leon Elwell for Glasgow doing a very nice job. Esteban Paula coaching English. Two young guys doing a very good job. Al was a great contributor to the city's firefighter. I did Esteban Paula's games when he played for Lynn English. And I believe he still plays. I think he plays with Joe Caponigo's Swampski team in the semi-pro league that plays locally. Hit on the ground. Into center field for a base hit. Wall starts the game with a base hit. Just past the dive of the shortstop Pieto. Again, action going at Manning Field. It's not a game, it's track practice. Not as big as it was yesterday. This might be one team. Yesterday we had looked like the city of Lynn over there. It looked like it was all the track teams practicing at the same time. If you look, bright blue skies, big puffy white clouds, and you say, what a beautiful day for the ball game. And it's not, because it's cold. People are back into the winter jackets and blankets and bundling up because the wind is blowing quite a bit. And the flag out in right center field is really fluttering. I mentioned English not being the red and gray. Classical's not in the green and gold either. They're black. So times have changed. A few more fans coming in. Mr. Sullivan again doing his job. We hope you're enjoying this live and in color from Fraser Field. It's brand new. I've been doing this for a long time in LETV. The last thing I thought is when I started doing this is we'll be doing games live. But here we are. Hit in the air deep. Center fielder going a long way. Can't get there. It goes all the way to the fence. They're saying the runner home. The throw to the plate will not be in time. You just hit that a long way. For a short time, it looked like Thomas might have a beat on it, but it just kept going. So Glasgow gets a great start. A single and a double. Walsh comes around to score. They got a run in with nobody out and a runner at second base. In for a strike. Roky Brea had a very good year in basketball. I know Marvin Avery's happy that he's coming back. Hit foul. Up in the seats. Hit the shot. They had a play on the run of a second. He was way off the bag, but they threw him out at first base. The runner was taking off, and he was way off the bag at second, but they opted to go to first. And then he could have gone to third, but he went back to second. Christian Figueroa, the pitcher, so it's pitcher against pitcher here. That was way over the head. So the runner now goes to third base on a major league wild pitch. Haskell has the second run in scoring position at third with one out. Figueroa can help himself if he just puts the ball in play. Haskell's going to get another run. English brings the infield in. Hit to shot. They don't have a play. The runner was coming. The run scores. Figueroa gets the job done. He's thrown out, but he gets an RBI. Big hop to Vieira, the shortstop, but the hitter was off and running. Munoz, they had no chance of throwing him out. And Haskell jumped out to a 2-0 lead. This is the other half of the Brea family, Ronell Brea. He's only a freshman. He's back next year. He had a pretty good year in basketball as well. Solid shot in the left field for a base hit. Extends the inning for Izaiya, the catcher. So just what Coach Esteban Paula and the Bulldogs didn't want was Classical getting out quickly. And Leon Howell, the coach of Classical, couldn't ask for any much more. Hit foul to the backstop. Hangs high, the curveball. Way up and in. Goes over at first. Most of the time the player is almost back standing on the bag. On the corner for a strike. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs in. Way high for a ball. Got a great pitch to run on. And it gets bounced in the outfield. He started to go, but he couldn't really go. He was going diving head first in the second. So Brea was down when he realized the ball went out in the outfield. But a great pitch to run on, way up and in. Tough pitch for the catcher. Painted to throw anybody out at second base. The payoff pitch up and coming. They got Brea picked off. They dropped the ball, but they're going to tag him out. Galva made the put out. Everybody getting involved. Catcher to third baseman, to the shortstop, back to the pitcher. Classical gets on the board with 2 runs. They do with 3 base hits. And before Christian Figueroa throws a pitch, he's got a 2-0 lead. He helped himself getting an RBI. For English, it'll be Eward Beato, the shortstop, leading off. Gilmer Galva will pitch and bat second. Hitting third and playing third, Jariel Benzin. The cleanup hitter is the first baseman, Gilbert Galva. Playing center field and hitting fifth, Engel Thomas. Batting sixth and playing left field, Julian Rodriguez. The catcher, Alien Pena, will hit number 7. Batting eighth and playing second base, Josue Prandy. And in the number 9 spot, Saul Herrera is the DH hitting for the right fielder, Danel Fuentes. So a quick 2-0 jump by Classical. The singles double leading off the inning. The wild pitch moved the runner up. He scored on the ground ball by the pitcher, Figueroa. Figueroa did the first game here. He pitched against Everett. Got a great game, 1-0. Glasgow over Everett. They won their first game against Linfield. They beat Everett, then they beat Medford, and they lost to Malden. English, as we mentioned, lost to Somerville, beat Lynn Tech, and then got a big win over Everett. So both teams, English and Classical, have beaten Everett here at Fraser Field. In for a strike. Pieto, the shortstop, leading it off. Hit high in the air. Shortstop going back. Walsh makes the one-handed catch as he gets tipped into by the center fielder, Roky Brea. Long run by Walsh, but he got there and made the play. Right in front of the left fielder, center fielder. So 1 up, 1 down for the Bulldogs. Gilmer Galva, the pitcher, is the hitter. They shorten up because they know he likes to bunt. Pushing low for a ball. In for a strike on the inside corner. Missing for a ball. Hit in left field for a base hit. Calvin jumped all over that pitch. This is a young Classical team. Munoz is a junior. Teixeira is a sophomore. Onasian's a sophomore. Lara's a freshman. Barragan's a freshman. Breyer is a freshman. The other Breyer is a junior. Collins is a sophomore. Diving back, he was just about to take another step off first base. I think Figueroa is the only senior out there. And he only had 3. So the wind starts to pick up again. We're paying a lot of attention to the runner over at first. And he takes off. And he got a good pitch to run on. It was down off the catcher. So after all those throwovers over the first, Galvin, I have to say Gilmer because there's also Gilbert, steals second base. Nice stop by the catcher, Izaiya, on a pitch down and in. English would love to get this run home and close the gap. Close the pickoff. So 1 out and the runner at second base. Hit in the left field for a base hit. They're saying the runner home. The throw goes off the catcher. Oh, Benson gets a big hit, brings in the run. The throw home bounces off the catcher. On the throw of the plate, Benson takes second base. So the tying run is at second base with 1 out. Well, now we'll come out. I'm not what he was questioning. Gilbert Galvin, the first baseman, will be the hitter. Swing and a miss. Chase the pitch that broke down and away. Swing and a miss again. That time was in on the hands, he swung through it. Hit in the air, coming along the right fielder, over by the line, makes the catch. They won't tag up. That's Ronell Brea. A little bit of a jaunt over toward the foul line, makes the play. 2 outs here in the first inning. Engel Thomas. Down the way for a ball. High and tight for a ball. Julian Rodriguez, the left fielder, looking for a bat in this inning on deck. On the inside corner for a strike. Hey. In for a strike. Thomas thought he was going to first base. Payoff pitch up and coming. Called third strike, took that pitch. So English gets one of the runs back on the big hit by Benson after Galma got a base hit and stole second. But Glasgow wins the first inning, getting 2. And we'll move into the second inning with Glasgow with that 2-1 advantage here in this intercity battle. A lot of these young men know each other very well. They may live next door. It used to be you had to live in Westland to go to Glasgow, Eastland to go to English. That evaporated a while ago. So they might even be neighbors. They play against each other in other sports. They may play during the summer. They may play Babe Ruth together. So they know, most of them may know each other well. So it makes this game even more important. Both these teams will play in the Mullins tournament. Dougie Mullins was an outstanding young man, very good athlete, became an assistant coach and became a head coach. He helped so many of the young people, whether it was through athletics, through studies, on the field, off the field. He was an outstanding young man, and he left way, way, way too soon. And Joe Caponegro, who Dougie Mullins coached with at English, started the Mullins tournament. And so far they've given out $12,000 in scholarships. Each of the 4 teams, English, Classical, St. Mary's, and Swampscott, each get a scholarship every year. Hit foul down the left side. This is Jaden Barragan, DHing for the first baseman, Gavin Collins. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Galvin starts his second inning with a swinging strikeout. His first. Emerson Lara, the left fielder, is the hitter. Emerson Lara is only a freshman. Solid shot, but he got way out in front of it and pulled it well foul. So it's got to be more than one track team over at Manning Field again, because there's a multitude of people running around. Curveball hangs high. Took something off, hung it high. Way up and away. Evens the count at 2. That one dropped. Didn't miss by much. Tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. But it just missed. And the count goes full. So he was ahead of him. Now he's going to come in with a pitch. Foul, and we'll do it again. That's ball 4. He loses him. First walk given up by either pitcher. Braden Owenesian, the third baseman, will be the hitter. Both teams have shown they like to run. Both pitchers have been thrown over quite a bit to first base. That's Galva to Galva, throwing over to first base for the pickoff. Gilmer to Gilbert. The runner takes off, no chance. It goes out to center field, but again, he was diving into second base. So second base is as far as he goes, but he steals second. And Glasgow has another runner in scoring position. Trying to get that run back that English got. Owenesian, the third baseman, is the ninth hitter, so top of the order, Mark Walsh on deck. Missing wide for a ball. No throw, but Lara didn't know that. He went head first back to second base. Bounces that one. And he's on the verge of back-to-back walks. I was wondering why he was staying at home plate. That was ball 4. He was waiting. I thought maybe we missed a pitch. So after a strikeout, back-to-back walks, put runners at first and second. Esteban Paula coming out questioning the count. The umpire looked like he was going to start to go out and talk to the base umpire, but now he just says no. So it's first and second on the back-to-back walks. Walsh led off the game with a base hit and scored the first of 2 that Glasgow got in the first inning. And he made a nice play going deep out into the left field to catch a pop-up. And now Esteban Paula wants to go out and talk to his pitcher. Galva in the game against Somerville when he pitched here at Fraser, he had virtually a perfect 3 innings. He gave up a walk in 3 innings. And then all of a sudden in the 4th inning, just lost it. And Somerville got 7 runs in the inning with only 3 base hits. There were a few errors, but a couple of walks as well. And English couldn't overcome that big inning for their only loss of the season so far. And now Coach Paula out talking to his pitcher Galva, trying to settle him down. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the Burt family. They tell me that Bob Burt is having a very difficult time. Staunch supporter of athletes, great family, great athletic family. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to Bob Burt, and we hope he's going to be okay. The runner takes off for third. He steals third, so it's a double steal. So Lara stole second, now he steals third, and now it's second and third with 1 out. And we're going to get warm-up action. Wilfredo Perez is going to go out and warm up. Hit foul to the screen. This inning started with a strikeout. Swing and a miss, he gets him. Little off-speed curveball way out in front of it. Now there's 2 away. Jamie Muniz hit a shot and a half to right center field. It went all the way to the fence for a double, knocking in the first run. Then he scored the second run after he went to third in a wild pitch and scored on a ground ball. High for a ball. English trying to keep it a 1-run game. Glasgow trying to add to it. Curveballs just broke late. Looked like it was going to be high and tight. It just broke in for a strike. Hit foul. That's going to make it up in the seats. So the 1-2 pitch up and coming. Off the catcher far enough, the runner was coming. Scores on the wild pitch. Down in the dirt, off the catcher. Went just far enough to him to come home. So Glasgow's got their 2-run cushion back with a runner at third and 2 outs. Down the way for a ball. The count goes full. Wilfredo Perez is warming up in the bullpen. And that's ball 4. Third walk in the inning. Brings up Rocky Brea, the center fielder, who hit it hard, but hit it right at the shortstop. And they threw him out. Awful close. They almost picked him off. Hit to third, knocked down. They don't have a play. The runner takes off a third, and they throw it by him. So Brea reaches on the first error. He goes to second on the second error. Muniz goes all the way to third on the first error. So back-to-back errors on the play. And it's second and third again. Hit to shot. Long throw, nice job by Piedo. But the damage is done. 3 walks in the inning. The first 2 score. They bailed out after those 2 errors on 1 play. Two runs, they don't get a hit. Looked like he might have got out of it with the strikeout for the second out. But then he walked another batter and threw a wild pitch. And Figueroa once again has a 2-run cushion as he starts the second inning. As Glasgow matches the run that English got in the bottom of the first. For English, it'll be 6, 7, 8. Julian Rodriguez, Elian Pena, Josue Prandy to face Figueroa. Greater Boston League Baseball into the season, but I'm looking now that the big blue skies and the big puffy white clouds are just about gone. There's a black cloud over the field now. And that flag is so flying all over the place, so it is cold. It's certainly not baseball weather. I'm not sure this would even be football weather. Certainly not for the fans sitting out. And we're virtually out because the press box is open. So Glasgow gets 2 in the first. English gets 1 to get back in it. Glasgow comes back and gets another run. Helped out by 3 walks. Joe, I got 2 runs. Huh? I got 2 runs. So they actually got 2 runs. The first 2 batters that walked scored. High for a ball. Julian Rodriguez, the left fielder. So it's actually 4 to 1. Hit foul back. Swing and a miss. He backed away, then came forward and swung through it. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. Elian Pena, the catcher. High for a ball. Call, 3rd strike. Up and away for a ball. Swing and a miss. Josue Prandy, the second baseman, is the hitter. Hit out in front of the plate. The pitcher, Figueroa, lost his hat, went and got it. He figured in all 3 outs, 2 strikeouts and a throwout. First 1-2-3 inning of the game. He picked up his second and third strikeout. So Classical has doubled up in both innings. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the second. English got 1. And that's where we are, 4-1 Classical. Galvin will start his third inning of work. He hurt himself in the second inning. He walked 3, the first 2 came after a strikeout, and both of them scored. And then the other walk extended the inning, followed by an error that brought another run home. English on the short end of a 4-1 score. At the end of 2, and it'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Classical Rams as we start the third inning. But Albury, a single, stole second. And then as Izaiya was drawing a walk, he tried to go to third base. They got him in a rundown and caught him before he got to third base, tagged him out for the third out back in the first inning. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1. Alva works quickly. Up and away for a ball. In for a strike on the corner, evens the count of 2. Galva steps off, Brea steps out. And now they both get ready. We'll get back to baseball. Down and away for a ball. So a big payoff pitch coming up. Hit. Got way out in front of it. Inside out swing. Hit it foul off to the right side. That's ball 4. Fourth walk given up by Galva. Izaiya threw a walk. His walk came when Brea tried to go to third, steal third base, and he threw him out at the end of the inning. almost threw that one away. Gilbert Galva picked that one off the turf. Now bounces inside the wild pitch. Brea's down to second base. Second game with Galva we've had here. He's had problems throwing strikes. Now he's on the verge of walking Izaiya for the second time. Missing low. In for a strike. Izaiya taking all the way. Squared the punt, but he was just taking the pitch. In for a strike again. Galva trying to come all the way back. Hit that pitch. It was way up and in. Galva got a help on that pitch. That was way up and in. And he picked it off his ear and fouled it off. Chased that pitch. It was way over his head. Galva got help again. It's his fifth strikeout, and we got Esteban Paula coming out of the dugout. And that might be it for Galva. That could have been 2 walks in a row. He walked the first batter, and that was last 2 pitches that Izaiya swung at was way out of the strike zone. And it appears as though Engel Thomas is going to be the new pitcher. So Galva will go to center field. And Thomas will be the new pitcher. So the batting order will stay the same, just those 2 changes as Thomas takes his windup. So it's been, the weather I'm sure has a lot to do with it. It's hard to get into the game with the wind is blowing cold. As we mentioned, a flag out in the outfield is fluttering all over the place. Everybody wearing winter coats and blankets. It's not baseball weather. So he goes 2 1/3 innings. Strikes out 5. So he struck out 3. But he walked 4. 2 of the walks scored. He gave up the 4 runs. And the 4 runs are earned. Well, 3 of them are earned. The last one was an error. So 3 earned runs. Gave up 3 base hits. And he's on the short end of a 4-1 score. So Thomas will come in. He'll face Jaden Barrigan. He's another freshman hitting for the first baseman, Collins. Missing inside and tight for a ball.
In the third inning.
Quickly 2-0. That one's in for a strike. They had Wilfredo Perez warming up on the bullpen, but they brought in Thomas from center field. On the corner for a strike. Barrigan struck out swinging against Galva. And that one hits him. So the hit batsman makes it first and second. Emerson Lara walks, stole second, stole third, scored a wild pitch. High for a ball. So a strikeout sandwiched around a walk and a hit batsman. Way up and away for a ball. On the corner for a strike. Same pitch, same place. It's going to hit back out of play over everything. And we'll do it again at 2-2. Down and in for a ball. Big pitch coming up for both teams, a payoff pitch. Hit out of play and we'll do it again. Up over everything. Missing for ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Without putting the ball in play. 2 walks and a hit batsman. Braden Owenesian drew a walk and scored a run. In for a strike. Two quick strikes. Braden's probably saying he's walked two in the inning, hit a batter. I get up and he throws two quick strikes. Why me? Hit foul. Looked like that went off the catcher's mask. Count stays 0-2. Strike three call. Good pitch. Mark Wall singled and scored, struck out swinging. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Missed for a ball. Didn't miss by much. High for a ball, 2-0. Missing low, on the verge of walking a run in. In for a strike, as you would take, as you would imagine, Walsh taking all the way. Mark Walsh is the shortstop. Swing and a miss, he went after it. Walsh only a sophomore, he's a very good player. Does an outstanding job at shortstop. So we got a huge pitch coming up for both teams. The runners will be off and going. And just before he was going to throw the ball, Walsh asked for time. Just as he was about to throw, the umpire said timeout. So the payoff pitch, once again, up and coming. Hit to left field. It's going to be over the left fielder's head. He tried to come on and went over his head. 3 runs are going to score. Walsh around second. He's in with a triple. A big 2-out hit. So the walk, the hit batsman and the walk come around to score. Line foul by Damien Munoz, who has doubled in a run. Scored a run in the first. Walked in the second. Way inside, had to get out of the way of that one. Off the catcher, the run started to come, realized realized it wasn't that far away and scooted back to third. So just like in the second inning, it looked like Ingles were getting out of it after a strikeout for the second out, but then an error brought in another run. And now, after a big strikeout for the second out, Wallace gets a big 2-out triple. And all of a sudden, it's 7-1. Hit in the right field for a base hit. He goes the other way. Munoz gets his second hit, his second RBI. Two-out lightning for the Rams. Roky Brea will be the 8th hitter in the inning. He has grounded to short and reached on an error. And that error brought in a run in the second inning. Hit back foul up in the seats. The runner takes off, good pitch, way up and in. Easily steals second base. Hit in the air, long run, gonna run out of real estate as it goes down that grassy knoll behind first base. So we'll do it again at 1-2. The runner takes off, ground ball. Safe, and the run's gonna score. Brea beat the infield hit for an RBI. The runner was off and running, stealing third. He comes around to score on the little tapper. Good speed by Munoz. And all of a sudden, it's 9-1. We're going to have a pinch hitter, I think. Gerandi Gonzalez is going to hit for Figueroa. Will Brea steal second base? In with a stolen base. Lined that into the classical dugout, had everybody ducking. Damien Munoz, the second baseman, saw his life pass in front of me, just ducked out of the way of that line shot. Standing in the dugout. Swing and a miss for strike three. So Classical sends 9 to the plate. They got 2 in the first. They matched it in the second, and they piled it on in the third, getting 5. They got 3 base hits in the inning. Five walks and a hit batsman in the game. The 2 walks and a hit batsman scored runs in this third inning. And then with 2 outs, a big triple by Walsh. Munez and Brea get hits. Brea's little infield chop scored a runner from second base on a play that the pitcher was trying to throw the runner out at first, but Munez was stealing third. He just kept going around third, beat the throw home from second base from the first baseman. And all of a sudden, it's 9-1 Glasgow. We mentioned Glasgow's trying to get back on the winning track. They won their first 3, lost their last one. English lost their first, won 2 in a row. They were looking for 3 in a row. Figueroa back on the mound after being hit for. Missing inside for a ball. They almost threw him out at second base. Nice backup by Izaiya. So the base hit by Herrera starts the inning. He goes to second on the error from the outfield. I'm not sure why Brea thought he could throw him out at first base. Top of the order, Eward Beato popped the shot, his 1 trip. So Figueroa had retired 5 in a row before that base hit. Swing and a miss. Curveball breaks down and away. Warm-up action again for the Rams. Up and in for a ball. High for a ball. Hit in the air. Long run, third baseman going back in foul territory, drifts back into fair territory. Onisha with a nice play, chased that down into medium left field, out on the turf. Wound up back in fair territory, but made the play. Nice defense by Owenesian. Kilmagalva single, stole second, and scored on Benson's base hit to get English back within 2-1. And since then, Glasgow scored 7 in a row. Galva was the starting pitcher. He's now the center fielder. It's hit foul the other way past the Glasgow dugout. Hit high in the air. starting back, now coming on. Oh, and he's in off his glove. He started out into left field and had to come all the way back in foul territory to the coach's box. And he got a glove on it but couldn't hold on to it. So Galva gets a break. Figure it took a little too much time. Galva asked for time and got it. Curveball for strike 3. Ducked under. He thought it was going to stay inside. Fourth strikeout for Figueroa. Jario Benson singled in a run as one trip. Goes the other way to left field. Long run for the left fielder. Gets there. And Lara makes the one-handed catch. So the leadoff single and the error doesn't hurt. Figueroa retires the next 3 hitters. We finished 3 in this intercity battle. Glasgow with a big 9-1 lead over the Bulldogs. As I mentioned, Glasgow got 2 in the first, matched it with 2, and then went double and a half in the third, getting 5. They have 6 hits, but English has walked 5 and hit a batter. Four of the walks and the hit batsmen have scored. And then there were a couple of errors as well. So English has been a very gracious host, giving Glasgow most of the 9 runs. Thomas will start an inning for the first time after coming in relief. It'll be Ronald Brea he'll lead off for the second time. He led off the 5-run third inning with a walk and scored the first run. Ronald Brea, Izaiya, Jaden Barragan, the 3 hitters for Glasgow in the 4th inning. We mentioned this young man, Ronald Brea. He's got to be 6'4", 6'5". He's only a freshman. Harvard Avery is happy to have him for a couple of years. And I'm assuming his brother, Roki Brea, is back for another year. Glasgow's had a lot of players back, and they had a good run this year. Solid shot to left field, going back. Rodriguez took one step in, then realized they better go back. Brea hit that a ton. Rodriguez stayed with it, backed up and made the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Izaiya walked and struck out swinging. This is his first at bat against Thomas. He hits it a long way, but got way out in front, pulled it foul. Down in the area of my car. Solid shot into left center field. In the gap, all the way back to the fence. Around second, going to keep going. And he's in with a triple. Second triple for Classical. Three extra base hits. And it'll bring up Jaden Barrigan. We're going to get a pinch runner. I think it's Braden Curley running. And we mentioned again, you can run for the catcher or pitcher the number of times they get on with no penalty, either the runner or the pitcher catcher. That's part of trying to speed the game up. And another hit batsman. Second hit batsman. So first and third, will they send Brannigan down to second base? Way inside for a ball. Emerson Lara walked and scored, walked and scored. So he hasn't been up officially, but he scored 2 runs in the game. Popped up, it's going to make it up in the seats. And the count goes 1-1. Hit foul again. Barrigan hasn't shown any signs of stealing second. At first out was a line shot to the left fielder, followed by a triple and a hit batsman. Hit to right field. Can't get it, it's by him. All the way to the fence. 1 run scores. The runner at third at first had to hold up to see if it would be caught. Lara gets a double and an RBI. He's having a game. Fourth extra base hit in the game. And Glasgow has double digits. They're leading 10-1. Second and third with 1 out. Braden Owenesian is the scheduled hitter. We might be getting a pinch hitter. Manny Mendez will hit. Lara almost ran down Barrigan at first base. They were both almost touching second base at the same time. Barrigan had to hold up to see if the ball would be caught. So second and third with 1 out. As Glasgow is teed off here, they've scored in every inning. In for a strike. Chop to the pitcher. safe. He dropped the ball. The error allows the run to score. Mark Walsh, who singled and scored, struck out swinging, tripled in 3 and scored. So he's 2 for 3. He scored 2 and knocked in 3. He's virtually half the offense. And they have runners at first and third with 1 out. High for a ball. Swing and a miss. So 3 walks and 2 hit batsmen have scored half of the runs that Classical has. English on the verge of having being mercy ruled by Classical. English just had a mercy rule win over Everett by a score of 11-1, 5 innings. High for a ball. With the score, Classical has stopped stealing. Every time they got a runner on, they were stealing. Few Brave fans still here in this ice cold weather. Way wide for a ball. Chase the pitch in on the hands, and the count goes full. Payoff pitch up and coming. Missing for ball 4. So Classical has the bases loaded yet again. And that brings a trip out from the dugout. So when they got 2 runs in the first, the second, and here in the fourth, Sam was in between. They got 5 in the third. And English has made a few errors. They've walked 6. They've hit 2. 4 of the walks and both hit batsmen have scored. And Wilfredo Perez is going to be the new pitcher coming in. This is similar to the English game against Everett. They beat Everett 11-1 in 5 innings. And now it's just totally reversed. Perez will try to stem the tide. First, second, and third with 1 out, 2 runs in. Glasgow's got extra base hits going. They got 2 triples, 2 doubles. They've got 8 hits. Davey Munoz will be the first hitter that Perez faces. He's perfect so far. He doubled in a run and scored, walked, singled in a run and scored. So he's knocked in 2 and scored 2. Top of the order's been pretty good. Walsh has knocked in 3 and scored 2. Munez has knocked in 2 and scored 2. And the 8th and 9th hitters have scored 3. Munez is the one with that tapper by Brea out between the pitcher and third baseman. And as they tried to, they were late. Brea beat the throw to first base, and Munez scored all the way from second, showing outstanding speed. In for a strike. Missing inside. Perez started, then he stopped and stepped off. Slice foul off to the right side. Sliced again off to the right side. Taps very slowly to second base. They only have one play. He'll get an RBI to get Munoz for the first time. He gets his third RBI. Hit foul. That almost made it up to us. There's no covering behind home plate for balls being hit back. One was hit in the press box. It actually hit my score sheet. I ducked out of the way to hit my score sheet last week. Way inside for a ball. Roky Brea has grounded a shot, reached on an error, beat out that little infield slapper, Texas Leaguer chopper between the pitcher and third base. And when he beat it, Munez was on second base and was stealing third at the time. He just kept coming and scored and wound up getting Brea an RBI. So once again, Classical sending players. This is the 8th hitter in the inning. Down and away. They batted 7 in the second. They batted 9 in the third. This is the 8th batter in the fourth. They only batted 5 in the third, but they got 2 runs in the first. Hits the shot. B8 stayed with it, throws him out. Nice play. He got blinded a little bit by the runner going by him, but he stayed with it. Nice play by Biedo. So Classical sends 8 more to the plate. They scored 3 more runs. They did it with 2 base hits. They got another hit batsman and a walk. And we'll move into the bottom half of the fourth. Classical has 2 touchdowns. They missed the extra points on both. be 4, 5, and 6 for English as we start the bottom of the fourth. Trying to figure out all those. We talked about yesterday or Monday when we were here. It looked like the entire city of Lynn was at Manning Field. And now we finally realize that it's track meet, but it's 3 different teams competing. And I think over there today, there's still maybe one of the track teams or maybe 2 hanging around, but there were 3 track teams. I think it was English, Classical, and Everett. So they have the track meets are not just English and Classical or English and Everett. It's 3 different teams competing. And there's an awful lot of people over there. Figueroa will start his 4th inning of work. He gave up the 1 run in the first inning. On back-to-back singles after a stolen base. He went 1, 2, 3 in the second. He gave up a single in the third, but then went 1, 2, 3. He's retired 8 of the last 9. Gilbert Galva will lead it off. Galva flat out to right field is 1 trip. So it's been up and down for English. They got run over by Somerville. And then they defeated Tech, and then they ran over Everett. And now they're being run over by Glasgow. Popped up. That was way in on the hairs. He looked like he was trying to back away and hit on the hairs off the bat, popped up to the second baseman, Munoz. Almost like he was trying to get out of the way of that one. Wilfredo Perez will be up for the first time. He came in relief after Engel Thomas had relieved Gilmer Galva. Down the way for a ball. And that hits him. Right on the number 24. So English has a base runner. Julian Rodriguez struck out swinging. On the corner for a strike. Waves at that pitch that broke down and away. Quickly 0-2. Call, third strike. He chased that pitch, was down the way. Took that pitch right down the middle. Five strikeouts for Figueroa. Elian Pena is not going to hit. Kyle Furlong will hit. Nice stop by the catcher, Izaiya. In for a strike.
So, Mr. Hoffman.
Had a duck under that one. That was right at his head. Swing and a miss. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Strike 3 called. He gets 2 strikeouts in the inning. He hit a batter. English is down in the 4th. And they're going to have an inning in the 5th, or they're going to get mercy ruled. In the 5th, it'll be 4, 5, and 6. For the Rams, well out in front, they're going to get back in the win column after winning their first 3 and losing a game. They're going to pick up their 4th win. English, after losing their first one, winning 2 in a row, are going to go back to 500. They're going to go to 2-2. Furlong will stay in the game and catch. And Herrera, who was the DH, hitting for the right field, will go play right field. He can certainly pick out the third baseman, Benson, with his bright green cleats. Highschool with a group, English with a group of fans. Braving the weather just has not been. I mean, we're almost into May. Easter is here, and we wish everybody a very happy Easter. Hope everybody has a great holiday. And next week the games will be changed completely because it's no school week and they'll be playing in the mornings. And hopefully the weather next week will be a little bit better. Christian Figueroa grounded out to shortstop, getting an RBI. Grounded out to shortstop again, and the last time he was pinch hit for by Gerardi Gonzalez, and Gonzalez was a strikeout victim. Perez will start an inning for the first time. And we got some warm-up action for Classical. That one dropped in for a strike. Hit to right field. Herrera goes a couple of steps to his right, makes the play. One up, one down in the fifth. We hope you're enjoying this great live broadcast with Mr. Sullivan directing, getting it done. We're going to miss him when he graduates. Missing for a ball. Ronald Brea. And this is not him. I know that because he's not 6'5". In for a strike. Hit in the air. It bounces in for a base hit. That was Elijah Morin hitting for Brea. And this is Jake Izaiya hitting for Izaiya. Ronald Brea had singled, walked, scored a run. Izaiya had walked, struck out, tripled, and scored a run. Missing for a ball. So Leon now will the coach go to his bench here in the fifth inning. In for a strike. 2-1 the count. Fishing for a ball. Hit for a base hit. So the bench getting into it. Caden Barrigan. Got hit by a pitch twice in his 3 at-bats. He struck on swing. He got hit twice and scored 2 runs. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. So a fly out to right and then back-to-back hits have extended the inning. On the inside corner for strike 3. This is Sam Morris hitting for Lara. Lara was perfect. He walked and scored, doubled in a run and scored. So he scored 3 and knocked in 1. Hit to third. Benson will tag third. So the 2 hits don't hurt. And we're down to what could be the last 3 outs. English needs to score. And they need to score 2. And they'll have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. So I think that's going to be it for Figueroa. Looks like Munoz is going to be the new pitcher. So Figueroa goes 4, strikes out 6, hit a batter, gave up only 3 base hits, 1 run, pitched very well. He's going to get the win. And Glasgow's going to get back on the winning trick. Going to 4-1, and English going to drop to 500 at 2-2. Looks like it's going to be Randy DeLeon hitting for Prandy. So Munoz, the second baseman, will be the pitcher as Leon Elwell gives Figueroa a rest. So it's strange how English lost their first game being overrun by Somerville. They defeated Tech and then they overran a mercy rule 5-inning win over Everett here. And now, unless they score 2, English is going to suffer a mercy rule here against arch rival intercity enemy, Lynn Classical. And if they don't score 2 runs, this game is history. Highschool got 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Erupted for 5 in the third, got 3 in the fourth. And it looked like they were going to get more in the fifth. Going to get back-to-back hits with 1 out. But a strikeout. And a ground out. Got English out of a jam. And now Randy DeLeon will pinch hit for Josue Prandy, the second baseman. And there's a hit batsman. Auspicious debut by Munoz. Throws his first pitch and hits DeLeon. DeLeon is still flexing after getting hit. And Prandy's going to go in and run. So Prandy re-enters the game after being hit for. And DeLeon will rub down the bruise. Herrera got a base hit. Is one time up. Wound up at second when the center fielder tried to, for whatever reason, try to throw him out at first base. Muniz trying to finish it off. Swing and a miss. Muniz can bring it. It's a little different. Figueroa moved the ball around, changed speeds to a curveball. Now the umpire, Muniz, has something that he has to take off. Had a bracelet or whatever. The base umpire saw it. The 1-1 pitch up and coming. In for a strike. That had a little bit of mustard on it. He was ready, then he stepped off. Now he steps off again, trying to get straightened out with the catcher, Izaiya. Those guys in white clouds way over to the left, starting to come back a little bit. Still very, very chilly. Very cold, actually. Low for a ball. Top of the order, Eward Beato on deck. Swing and a miss. Beato has popped the shot and popped the shot. And he's the shortstop. Hit off the pitcher. That's going to be a base hit. Muniz is the second baseman when he's not pitching. That went off his glove. Slowed it down. Beato beats it for a base hit. First and second with one out. But Gilmagabo, who singles, stole second and scored on a base hit by Benson, the only run English has. Last time up, he was called on the strikes. That moves everybody up. So if English can score these 2 runs, they'll keep themselves alive. High and tight for a ball. And now Coach Elwell wants to go out and talk to his pitcher. In fact, is he changing pitches? Figueroa came out of the game. He was breezing. All he needed was 3 outs. And I guess Munoz is staying in the game. I think that might have been a case of they needed somebody to interpret. Elwell needed somebody. That was almost a balk. High and tight for a ball. Sun comes out a little bit as that blue skies and white clouds starting to come back again. But the wind still makes it cold. In for a strike. A lot of noise going on from some of the young ladies rooting for English along with the bench. Swing and a miss. Count goes full. Muniz can bring it. The ball goes by. The run scores. So it's first and third. But Jarrell Benson was singled in a run and flied to left field as the sun comes out very bright now. So a hit batsman and a walk. With the base hit is giving English a run. Trying to keep the game alive. Fishing wide for a ball. To the backstop. So it's not going to end in 5 innings. Muniz just come in and just throwing it as high as he possibly can and not throwing a lot of strikes. And we're going to get a pitching change again. Everybody changing gloves. So they didn't stay with Figueroa to finish the game. They brought Muniz in and it didn't work. Wild pitches all over the place. So Christian Figueroa is coming back. I'm not sure why he ever left. So the freezing fans get to sit through another inning. mentioned Javier Benson singled in a run, fly to left. Both of those were against Figueroa. Now he's facing him again. Pitching wide for a ball. He's finishing up. Nunez is pitching. Solid shot, got way out in front of it, hit it way over everything. Out of the park. Solid shot by Benson, but he got way out in front of it. Went after the 3-0 pitch. And that's ball 4. So that walk will be credited to Munoz. Gilbert Guerra, fly to right, pop to second. Little check swing, pop to second. So first and third for the Bulldogs. They're almost playing Galva for a left-handed hitter. The center field is over toward right center field. They got a big gap in left center field. The runner takes off. The ball sliced foul. Hit that, got around, hit it hard, but got way out in front of it. Swing and a miss. The runner steals second. Strike 3 called. Good pitch on the outside corner. Seven strikeouts for Figueroa. Wilfredo Perez has been up once after he came in relief to pitch. He got hit by a pitch. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. Nice job by Izaiya to go out and get that one. Looked like it was going to the backstop. Hit to third. They make the play at first, but English does what they needed to do. They needed 2 to keep it alive. They get 2. So we'll move into the 6th inning. They did it with 1 base hit, a walk, a hit batsman, and a bunch of wild pitches. And English gets to live into the 6th inning. It'll be the top of the order for Classical. Wilfredo Perez will start his second inning. And all those that thought we were going home early, we're not. We hope you're enjoying this live and in color. And again, those blue skies and white clouds that looked like they were coming over are now being covered over again. And the sun has gone away. And it's still freezing cold here at Fraser Field. Braden Curley will lead it off. Would have been Mark Walsh. And Elwell has gone deep to his bench. I'm sorry, it's Braden O'Neill. It's 9-1-2. O'Neill walked and scored, struck out, reached on an error. I'm not sure why, but it looked like they turned the lights on here at Fraser Field. In for a strike. Those of the lights that are working, I should say. A lot of them are out. But the lights are coming on. Way up and in for a ball. Swing and a miss. That count evens at 2. Hit foul back and out of play. Still action going on over at Manning. They might want to get the kid on the bicycle riding over Manning Field off the field. Hit in left field for a base hit. Moreno, Yunier Moreno will hit for Munoz. Excuse me, he'll hit for Walsh. So it was Curley hitting for Owenesian. Backing away and hitting that, hits it up in the seats. Chop to third. Curley took a wide turn at second, thinking he might go to third. Jimmy Munoz, double in a run and scored, walked, single in a run, scored, rounded up second to first for an RBI. Low for a ball. So he's 2 for 3. He's knocked in 3 and scored 2. Hits it out of play. Down that grassy knoll behind first base. Solid shot to left field. All the way back to the fence. That's going to score a run. Munez has got his second double, his third hit. Curley comes around to score. And we're back in Mercy Rule country. As Classical has a baker's dozen, 13, and the sun comes out as bright as it's been all day. But that wind still keeps it very cold. Hit high in the air. Galva, the first baseman, makes the catch, losing his hat. Roky Brea pops up. Two-way. Figueroa was grounded out to short twice. Both, the first time he got an RBI. Knocking in the second run of the game. The runner takes off for third. Figueroa hits it foul past the third base coach. The runner was stealing third. Munoz was there. High and tight. High again for a ball. Off the catcher, that'll move the runner up. Hit in the air, long way to right center, long run. Not going to get there, extra bases. The throw got away, and he's going to go to third on the error. Figueroa gets a double and an RBI. His second RBI. The throw got away coming in. He winds up at third. And Elijah Moran is the hitter. He got a base hit, pinch hitting for Ronald Brea. His last time up. In for a strike. Nice stop by the catcher, Furlong. Down and in for a ball. Hits the shot. Seattle makes the play. So we're right back where we were, going into the bottom of the fifth. Now we're in the bottom of the sixth. And again, English needs 2 to keep the game alive. As Classel gets 2 on 3 base hits. We have a new pitcher for Classical. Looks like Mark Walsh. He'll try to finish it off. I mentioned Classical scored 2 touchdowns. Now they got the 2 extra points because it's 14-3 here in the bottom of the sixth. So Walsh coming back in the game on the mound. Looks like Munoz moved over to shortstop. Six, 7, and 8 for English. And again, they need, as in the fifth inning, they needed 2. They got them. Now they need 2 more to get to play 7 innings. Rodriguez has been up twice, struck out twice. 1 swinging, 1 called. He's the Bulldog left fielder. Hit to left field. Right there, making a one-handed catch. Emerson Lara. 1 pitch, 1 out. Kyle Furlong went into catch. He pitch hit for Elian Pena. Pena has struck out. Furlong also was called out on strikes. In for a strike. Two quick strikes. Two quick outs. English down to their last out. High and tight for a ball. Way inside for a ball. In for a strike. 2-1 the count. Swing and a miss. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Haskell a strike away from getting their 4th win. Back-to-back strikeouts gets it done, so that'll do it. English survived the mercy rule in the 5th, but they don't survive it in the 6th, as Classical puts 14 on the board, 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, and they win it going away. Classical will go to 4-1 to get back on the win track after winning 3 in a row and then losing the last one. English, after winning 2 in a row after losing their first game, will get back to 500. They'll go to 2-2. Classical, Walsh got a base hit. Munoz doubled them in. Munoz scored on a ground ball by Figueroa. It was 2-0 Classical. English got a run back on the first. Gilmer Galva single, stole second, scored on Benson's base hit. It was 2-1. Classical got 2 in the second inning. Back-to-back walks. A couple of stolen bases, a wild pitch, and an error. Scored 2 to make it 4-1. They erupted for 5 in the 3rd inning. Ron Brea drew a walk after a strikeout. Barang got hit by a pitch. Lara walked. The bases were loaded. Mark Walsh tripled in 3. He scored on an RBI by Munoz. Munoz stole second and scored on an RBI by Rocky Brea. It was 9-1. They added 3 in the 4th. After an out, a triple by Izaiya. Paregan got hit by a pitch. Lara doubled in a run. An error on a ground ball throw to the plate, trying to get the runner. An error scored a run. And a ground ball by Munoz brought Lara home. And it was 12-1. English needed to get 2 to stay alive. They got him. A hit batsman, a single by Beato, and then wild pitches brought the 2 runs home. Extended the game to the 6th inning. And a leadoff hit by Curley. After an out, a double by Munez scored the run. And then an RBI double by Figueroa scored the 2nd run to make it 14-3, and that was the final score. For English, Piano had a base hit, scored a run. Galva got a base hit, scored a run. Benson had a base hit, knocking in a run. DeLeon hitting for Prandy got hit. Prandy went in to run, and Prandy scored the run for English. Herrera also had a base hit. For Classical, Walsh had a single, a triple, a walk. He knocked in 3 and scored 2. Damon Munoz had 2 doubles, a single, a walk, an infield ground ball. He knocked in 3 and scored 3. Rocky Brea reached on an error, had an RBI single. Christian Figueroa had an RBI ground out, doubled in a run. He was the winning pitcher. Ronald Brea had a base hit, a walk, scored a run. Izaiya had a triple, scored a run. Hitting for him, Jake Baye had a base hit. Jaden Barrigan got hit by a pitch and got hit by a pitch twice, scored both times. Emerson Lara walked twice, got a double, scored 2, knocked in a run. Braden Owenesian walked and scored a run. And then hitting for him, Braden Curley got a base hit and scored a run. So Classical puts 14 on the board. Figueroa gets 7 strikeouts, hit a batter, gave up 4 base hits. He's the winning pitcher as Classical wins it going away, putting up 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points and winning it by a score of 14-1 over Lynn English. So English doesn't get 2 intercity wins. They beat Lynn Tech, but Classical gets their first intercity win, knocking off English 14-1. Classical goes to 4-1, gets back in the winning track. English's 2-game winning streak is broken. They get back to 500. They're 2-2. So a Mercy Rule 6-run inning. Classical rolls over English 14-1 in this intercity Greater Boston League battle. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.